total mail-in rebate. Plus, get a $15 setup with each phone. Stop by a local Radio Shack or Verizon Wireless location near you to free up. Free up, only from Verizon Wireless.
This Sunday,
she's a mermaid. Gills, fins, scales, and all.
the seduction of the sea
I am not a common goldfish. I cannot ignore the call of the sea.
brings an unexpected decision.
I'm not going back.
Charmed, the 2-hour season premiere, this weekend on the WB's Big Sunday.
What's that for?
Gas money.
Ah, don't worry about it.
No, take it.
Well, you insist.
Absolutely.
The savings on all the remaining 2002 Civics are truly remarkable. Get yours before they all vanish.
Michael, you stay and we go to Venice,
I can't. I have a dog.
Stop! Is he kidding? You know, I think his friend Steve back in the U.S. could help him out here. Go!
Hello? Steve. Yeah? It's about Max. Can you watch him an extra week?
Introducing World Class from T-Mobile. Now use your phone worldwide. Get more.
Yeah, what you wanna be? Yeah, what you wanna be? Here we go. What you wanna be? All right. Here we go. What you wanna be? Yeah, for me, I gotta be me the way it has to be. Yeah, you're gonna be what you wanna be. What you wanna be?
Stay tuned for scenes from next week's season premiere of Smallville.
Coming up, scary moments during last night's Eagles-Redskins game. Coach Reed tells us about the bizarre incident that brought the game to a halt. Next.
A planet that only knows fear needs a hero that has none. Star Fox Adventures, only for Nintendo GameCube. Rated T for teen.
Coming on DVD and VHS, Big Fat Liars headed your way.
Copy that.
Frankie and Amanda star in a movie that's playfully fun, and that's no lie.
No one has the guts to stand up to him.
It's payback time.
Color dot.
Check.
Mega glue.
Check. You really think it's gonna work?
Big Fat Liars coming home on video and DVD.
Back off, man!
Big Fat Liars.
They told me to pick up a little blue car. They didn't say anything about a little blue man.
For sale on DVD and VHS September 24th. Rated PG.
Hey, America, I'm the new 99-cent BK value menu. Tell you, women, can't live with them, can't live without them, huh?
Sure can.
Yeah. Just like crispy tacos. Just like 99-cent crispy tacos.
The all-new BK value menu speaks for itself. Now, get 11 items for 99 cents every day. And have it your way in more ways.
When I sing a song, I need to feel it. I always try to find someone with that special, unique something that makes me fall in love.
New Doritos salsa chips. Spiced so perfectly, you can't help but love them. Next Tuesday, the season premiere of Smallville. A force of nature has taken control. Now, to save one precious life, he will risk family.
Mom! Dad!
Friendship.
You know, Lex, I don't know what to believe anymore.
And himself.
He's going to expose your secret.
Smallville, the season premiere next week on the WB's New Tuesday.
I got to carry this the rest of my life. And I ain't finished crying. This is just the beginning.
He left his granddaughter inside an overheated car. The child later died, and now the fight over this man's freedom.
After the sports-related death of a popular student-athlete here in Pemberton, what should you know about your child's health? I'm Dave Marshall with some advice.
And if you're trying to shed some pounds, you know all about the weight loss ads out there. But how many of them can you believe? We've got the answer from the government.
This is Philadelphia's WB17 News.
Good evening. The Philadelphia man who left his granddaughter in the back seat of his scorching hot car has been cleared of all charges. Today, a judge called the little girl's death a tragic accident.
But the case may not be closed yet. WB17's Brad Satin is live in the newsroom now with the story. Brad.
Tony, it is a huge relief tonight for Calvin Howell and his family. The family saying all along that what happened was a terrible mistake, but not a crime. And today, the judge agreed.
The defendant remembered to get an oil change appointment. He remembered to check his brake lights, but his precious, defenseless grandchild he left in the car all day.
On that sweltering day last month, 54-year-old Calvin Howell simply forgot. Going to work, running errands, not remembering to drop off his 20-month-old granddaughter, Sasha Fogel, to the babysitter. She died of heat stroke in the backseat of his car, where temperatures reached 140 degrees. Prosecutors charged negligence, but today, Municipal Judge Seamus McCaffrey ruled it just a terrible accident, and there would be no trial.
Hello, ghouls, creeps, ghosts, cryptids, believers, and non-believers. Welcome to Midnight Mystery AM. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I think it's a fantastic night. I mean, well, it's day, technically, I guess.
Yeah, it's the morning. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. And anyone who's having a bad day listening, I hope we cheer you up. This is meant to be a very, I guess, interesting discussion, and I hope all of you can feel better after listening to it.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about dolls and other people suffering, so you can sort of laugh at other people losing their lives for once. So there you go.
Nothing
Time
like
to
that.
feel better about yourself.
Nothing like that.
And have a good sleep tonight.
We're not going to be laughing at anybody. We're going to be talking about those subjects, though.
Dolls.
But but we want this to be an interesting discussion. We hope that this is something you can listen to and learn a lot from, and as I said, hopefully it can make your day better if your day is not going great already, because everyone's day on here should be going great. So
okay, other than Joel Osteen here, we have a nice conversation about demons and dolls and lovely critters. This is something new that's being tried on Nation Squid. I want to just point out something very clear. Videos are still coming before, anyone freaks out.
Absolutely, yeah.
This
is simply...
we hit a bump for a bit there with time and scheduling. A lot of life got in the way, sadly.
Yeah.
But you've been very consistent, and you got 2 videos out very closely short in time.
Yeah, that's been an accomplishment for me.
So you're working on another one already. So... There's
I don't want to give away any details.
No, I'm not going to. But the point is this is just to fill in those gaps, bring something interesting to the table, this new radio show, and just let us know how you feel about this. And I think this is going to be a fun new concept for this channel.
Yeah, you saved me all the breath. You said everything I wanted to say. I'll state it at the end for people who are tuning in later.
Yeah.
But exactly that. This is not going to be replacing any thing I'm doing right now by any means at all. This is just simply if I can't get something out, in a reasonable amount of time, and that's usually the case, unfortunately. This is something that can potentially fill in those gaps and keep things more active. And because I know I've explained before, it's not the easiest for me to get things out in the time that I want, and but it's very easy to do a little bit of research and have a conversation once a week or whatnot. And I think that could be a great substitute for those times of hiatuses and whatnot. And keep in mind, it might just be it's not going to be really extensive research. It's mostly just going to be discussion. We're here to talk.
And what's our topic today?
All right, so our topic today is going to be dolls, and think I found some really interesting stuff around this topic, and
yes,
we're not just gonna be talking about like one topic on dolls. We're gonna talk about like multiple stories that.
Yes, all stuff that has a real sort of story to it, urban legend sort of things that not like Chucky, but sort of real life stories that are apparently true.
That are based on
real
things like Chucky.
Real things. So yeah, based on things like Chucky. So I guess what do you want to start with? You're the boss.
Well, right now I do have the Island of the Dolls story. I know you've heard of that.
Yes,
but,
that's my favorite. I've known about the Island of the Dolls since I was a little kid, actually.
Yeah, I learned about that one growing up too. And,
yeah, I was like, I think we were sort of ahead of the game on these things before they became popular in culture. I'm talking like 10 years ahead of the game.
No, yeah, I was going to mention that, but
yeah.
you were ahead of me on that one. But
Suicide Forest too. Like I knew about it when I was like 9 years old. I learned about it.
Yeah.
Thought it was the creepiest idea. Then 2017, all these people were like, wow, this place exists. Like all these people found out. And I'm like, oh yeah, I thought more people knew about this and became really popular.
Yeah.
So
it's quite interesting. And thing is, I knew about Island of the Dolls for quite a long time. I didn't really pay any mind to it though until just like recently, like very recently. I'm talking like a week ago recently.
No, yeah,
and,
it's super creepy.
But after really
that's something you definitely got to do a video on at some point. It'd be
such
a good topic. It's so scary, and it's a real life place. And yes, it is what it sounds. If people don't know, it is literally a doll island, an island full of decrepit dolls, thousands of them. This place really exists, and it lies in Mexico.
It's weird for me to think that this is like not something written out of like a fictional novel, and that all of this really happened, and that was really what made me fall down this rabbit hole.
Some of it,
of course,
some of it is like there's no evidence of some of the stories according to the legend of how this place was made, but there is real evidence. It was a real place that was made. The guy who owned the island was a weirdo.
Yeah,
that was all true. So that being said, tell me about Island of the Dolls.
The name of the island is Isla de las Muñecas. I apologize if I'm completely butchering my Spanish.
That was better than I would have done.
But, yeah, and that obviously is Spanish for the island of the dolls. And this all started in the 1950s. And
wow, that old?
Yeah, so actually that seems a lot more recent to me than I thought.
No, that's pretty old. I mean,
I was thinking this was probably like the late 1800s, early 1900s. I was really come to a shock that this happened this recently. And this all occurred in the channels of Mexico City. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the island's name because it's a mouthful. But it's in the channels of Mexico City. It's in the southern area of like south of Mexico City.
Yeah, like in the swampy sort. It's not near the city at all. You wouldn't be able to see it unless you actually went there.
Not inherently. So this story surrounds the man by the name of Don Julian Santana Barrera. And how he got to this island was he was a father, and he had a wife and one child, and he left his family to live on this island basically as a recluse.
Wasn't he kind of wealthy, actually? That's what I thought.
I'm not sure. Did you hear something?
So
about that?
I thought he was sort of like a wealthy farm guy, like he owned like little bits of land.
He was a farmer.
Made some good money.
He was a farmer.
Yeah, but I heard he made good money. I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I really don't know how cheap land is in Mexico. So I mean, especially that land. I mean, it's not like the most. I mean, that island. It's not like you can grow a lot of vegetation on there. That's like good. It's all like weeds and stuff. So I mean, it could have been really cheap to buy. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I don't know how successful he was at his profession, but I do know that he was a farmer to an extent. So he left his family. It's not exactly sure why he left his family. There's no reason.
On this island you're mentioning, is this the Doll Island or is this
This
some
is
other...
the Doll Island.
Okay,
yes,
so they actually lived on this.
He did. He basically.
Oh, he left his family. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he left his. I should have clarified. His family. He and his family originally lived in Mexico City. He was a native to this island, but I guess eventually he moved from this island to Mexico City, where he met his wife and had a family. But excuse me. So after living there for like a few years, he decided to move back to his native land. And just basically abandoned his family, pretty much. And
is there a reason why?
Yeah, there is. We're not exactly sure why. It's kind of up to debate. Honestly, the best theory was that he was just simply insane, and he just wasn't thinking straight.
Further details.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, obviously. But not too long after he was living on that island, one night he just starts hearing like this screaming outside, like blood-curdling screaming and like crying, and he goes outside to investigate to see what's happening. He's thinking, and it sounds like the voice of a little girl, and he's thinking like, what is this girl doing out so late? Like, what's going on? And he goes outside and he sees a girl drowning in a nearby lake.
Yeah.
And he's not exactly sure what to do because he hasn't seen this person before, and he's really overwhelmed by what's going on. And he really decides to go and try and save the girl, obviously, but the damage was done. It was too late. And by the time he got to where the girl was, she was already dead. And
so let me clarify this. This is not proven to be true. This part of the story.
I was just going to mention that.
Oh,
actually.
you were? Yeah. This is part of the legend, and obviously it is a legend. I do think that obviously it's not true.
The weird thing
it's
about
creepy. It's a good story.
The weird thing about this story is that we don't know if this girl even existed because there's no evidence that this.
Plus, it's in the middle of nowhere. This place is literally in the middle of nowhere.
Basically, yeah. It's
I heard it's a 20-minute boat ride outside Mexico City, so you might be like, well, that's not super far. It actually is, because like, again, this island, it's like, I guess the best way to compare it is like, think of like, Florida, and there's just like a city, but if you look like next to you, it's just nothing but endless swamp after. I mean, that's like what it is.
Yeah.
But 20 minutes
just
into
imagine
the swamp.
Just going straight.
So
as fast
there's
as
no way to get there.
A boat can go.
Like
unless you
have someone who takes boats there, and that's hard to do because the people are really deathly afraid of this island. It's actually harder to find tour guides now.
So in other words, it's a lot harder. It's a lot farther. Than it
so it's not like some little girl can
looks.
just like wander outside the city. A, that far. And B, you said at night. B, at night in a dangerous like swamp-like environment, and C, you cannot see the city. They can't see you. Like this is practically in the middle of nowhere.
Or if this girl somehow did live on this island. But this is the thing that confuses me is that I couldn't really find. I could be wrong about this. I don't. We don't live near this area. I don't live in this area. I under the impression researching this, I got the impression that this is basically like an uninhabited island, and that he was basically the only one on this island. But I like I said, I don't know. I don't know if he was.
That's correct. I believe also. I believe he was the only one on this island as well. I think you're right there. Because again, I've never seen. He may have owned land nearby, also. But yeah, I don't think he was. I have no clue. I think he was alone.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
He didn't have neighbors or anything.
Like I said, I couldn't find any evidence or like any research that showed that he was alone or that he wasn't alone. So it's a bit confusing. But as I said, because there's no evidence of this girl's body, we don't even know if this girl existed or if this was just a figment of his imagination, and if this was just a completely made up story from him. But shortly after this alleged event occurs.
But she dies.
Yeah, she dies.
Yes, and he feels
shortly after she dies, allegedly, he sees a doll floating down nearby, the same canal, just like floats down very close by to where her body was, and he basically took this as a sign that this girl was communicating to her, communicating to him, and he basically he felt like a huge amount of guilt that he was unable to rescue this girl in time, and he basically carried that guilt with him for a very long time, and because he took this as like a sign that like her spirit was still around, to honor the girl and to or to pay respects to her.
To appease her spirit, basically, because he this is when he began to say he was hearing voices, that she was talking to him, basically haunting him, really, and so he.
Yeah, in honor of that, to appease the spirit, like you said, he decides to hang dolls from the trees nearby, and
but he basically just over time floods the island with just. There's literally over 1,000 dolls on the island. I don't know the exact number, but that has been confirmed. There's over 1,000.
Yeah, and
it's disgusting looking. It is absolutely disgusting. I mean, it looks like it's like hell on earth. Like if you go by that thing, it's ridiculous.
I'll get more into detail on that in a minute, but after hanging this doll, things relatively went back to normal for a little bit, actually. But slowly over time, he started to feel more of this girl's presence around. And at first, his feeling was pretty minute, pretty minimal, but then but eventually it just started to gradually get bigger and bigger. And at one point, he just downright feels haunted by this girl. And in order to cope with this feeling, he decides to start hanging more dolls around the island. And
because it clearly wasn't enough. You know?
Yeah.
Why not?
And basically, what he does, he just goes around this island and he looks in the canals, the rivers, and just all around the island looking for dolls, severed doll heads, arms,
the
legs,
hell? How's he
torsos.
finding these?
I was just gonna ask that. I was just gonna talk about that. We're not exactly.
God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, we don't exactly know where the dolls came from, or at least I don't know where the dolls came from.
If that's a real detail, that's so messed
up. Well, there obviously has to be because all the dolls are hanging up now.
No, I thought he would just go out and buy them and collect them. Or maybe people gave them to him.
Yeah, I'll explain that too.
I guarantee you, people donate dolls now still.
Yeah. I'll get to all of that. But I guess we don't know we don't know for 100% certainty where these dolls came from, but we do know that he would trade some of the vegetables that he grew with other people in exchange for their dolls, and that was one way he obtained them. But
I have a haunted doll in here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and I wouldn't give it away for a vegetable.
You have a haunted clown doll. What year is it from?
This late 80s or 90s.
Oh wow. Oh, it's a lot more recent.
Yeah, I bought it.
Okay.
I bought it. Oh, I guess I'll give context on that real quick. I bought a haunted clown doll for like a project I did, and I don't think it's actually haunted if that sort of thing exists, but like it was listed as an actual haunted doll. I didn't buy just a doll and say, you know what I mean, and be like, oh, it's haunted. I bought from a literal paranormal investigator a doll that was apparently possessed by a spirit, and I got a letter and everything. Its name was Barry. It was a clown doll. I still have the doll, and the letter basically said, hey, just so you know, I don't think Barry is a bad spirit, but I don't think he's a good spirit, so be careful. And I got this letter when it came in the mail, and I was just like, why did I buy this?
That's not okay.
Yeah, so I still have it though. Nothing's weird. Actually, no, one weird thing happened. One weird thing. 2 days after I bought it, I kept it in my garage because I was like, yeah, screw this. I'm not going to put this in my room right away. Now it's in my room because
I wouldn't have done that either.
Because I don't believe it's possessed, obviously. But
oh, you don't?
But no, this was really weird. I kept it in the garage. 2 days it's in there. One day, the dogs just go running toward the garage door and just barking like insanely at it. Which was weird because they never bark at my garage door. They hear things outside and they'll go bark at the front door, but they deliberately went straight to the garage door. I didn't go in or out, so they didn't hear me entering or leaving. It was I was just in the living room and they just barked at it for an entire minute.
Did you hear
minute
anything
and a half.
Fall down
No,
in there?
nothing.
Oh, wow.
I just saw them. And I remember being like, that is messed up. I remember being really creeped out by that. But yeah, just sorry. I mean, I know it's a little. I mean, it's not too off topic.
Not off topic at all. Is that the only story you have?
That's the only thing that's happened that's been weird. I don't know. I'm not saying that's paranormal, but it was definitely weird because I've never seen the bark at the garage door since.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then nothing's happened. I mean, I keep it in my room. It's been in my room for a year now.
Okay.
So it's in here.
Did you immediately move it out of the garage after?
No, not immediately. After I did my project, I was thinking about selling the doll and giving it away. But. Okay. I don't want to give a bunch about the project, but I got kind of pissed off at the people. Not the people I worked with, but the people who I was going to give the doll to.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to give it to them because they didn't plan everything right for my project when I communicated with them to. And so my friends and I were like, hey, why don't you just keep the doll? And I'm like, well, that's a good idea. I was pretty sure at this point it wasn't haunted because nothing was happening. So I have it still.
Okay.
Might give it away
or at least
one
that's
day.
what the doll wants you to think. That it's not haunted.
I was thinking about giving it away to some museum in Canada that collects this sort of stuff, but I think I'm going to keep it for now.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Wow.
If I ever get to the Doll Island, I'd totally give it I'd totally leave it at the Doll Island if I ever had a chance to go.
Hey,
for real.
That's your next project right there.
That'd be cool.
Just to put that whole thing to rest.
There you go.
That's a lot that I did not know. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So where was I? Oh yeah, so he hangs all these doll heads, arms, torsos, legs, any appendage that he finds that's from a doll. like I said, I don't know how these dolls ended up on the island, like on the floor.
Yeah, I'm pretty
in
sure
these
he just
rivers,
collected them
but,
over time.
He did. But yeah.
That's expensive. That's genuinely an expensive hobby. Like, dolls aren't the cheapest. Mine was expensive. So, I mean, even if it wasn't...
Yeah. Well, we'll keep in mind this was the 50s, too, so probably dolls were more common back then,
that
too.
Old. I didn't know that.
So,
yeah. That's crazy.
Probably weren't as expensive then as they are now, because they're more like antiques now. They probably weren't so much antiques then.
Right.
But, so like I said, he trades people for dolls, and he also finds them on the island.
He trades people for dolls.
Yeah. He goes to people and he takes
that's
his
illegal now.
Yeah,
no, he trades vegetables.
Yeah, trades vegetables. He's not gonna trade people. Some kind of underground, doll trafficking scheme. But basically, this goes on. This blew my mind. This goes on for 50 years.
Oh man. That's okay. Yeah, I didn't. Jeez.
Yeah, he basically just has this routine of picking up doll parts off the floor and just trading with people for 50 years and just hanging up anything that he finds. And this all went on from the 1950s until 2001, where and the only reason why it stopped in 2001 was because it's strangely I would say this is kind of morbidly poetic. Is the way he died?
Yes.
It's basically it really much resembles the story that he claims was true and claims happened. The story that he was totally fixated on. And basically, in 2001, his nephew found him dead, face down inside the canal, in the exact same spot that he claimed that the girl died in when she drowned. And he allegedly suffered a heart attack. So he didn't drown.
Okay.
Or I think he had the heart attack and then drowned because he was unconscious from the heart attack. But that's very. So
creepy.
that's the only reason why that he stopped doing it at that point. The interesting thing about these canals was that before Santana even arrived on the island, there were legends about the rivers and the bodies of water that were on the island, and there were urban legends or local legends that these bodies of water were filled by spirits from the Mexican Revolution. So there was already story being circulated around that these waters were haunted.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Santana, when he was alive, he claimed that these spirits were telling him to join them in the water, and that was another thing that was haunting him on the island. He actually thinks that that's probably how the girl drowned, was that she was being lured in by the spirits as well. Another legend I thought was pretty interesting was another legend from before he even arrived on the island was a legend of mermaids. And apparently there's another theory that these bodies of water are also possessed by mermaids, and that these mermaids would also kill anybody that would enter these bodies of water. And it's believed by a lot of people who believe in these legends that these mermaids killed the girl.
Interesting.
Yeah. The third legend, I'm going to try and read the name. It's a Spanish name, so bear with me.
Do you have a translation?
I do, yeah. So it's La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Yeah, La Llorona, or Llorona. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, they made a movie recently.
Oh, did they?
It was by the people made that was the most, the Nun, The Conjuring. It's in that series, La Llorona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, La Llorona is an old Mexican folk tale. Legend.
Yeah, and that's English for the crying woman.
It's actually terrifying. Yeah, it's so terrifying. But
the name is the Crying Woman. I'm like, okay, that's a terrifying name for an urban legend. Yeah, and it's also believed that spirit haunts the waters as well.
Yeah, but that's more all over Mexico. That's like the most famous legend in Mexico, is the La Llorona sort of thing.
So this movie, I didn't know about this movie. So you said the same people who made the Conjuring.
Yeah, it's literally what's with that actress you really like from Freaks and Geeks. She's in it.
Oh, Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, she's in it. She's like one of the main characters.
Very interesting. Huh.
She's really good. But
yeah, so
that's an old legend all over.
Yeah, but so that legend was also involved in the silent. Well, people thought
that's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh.
That she also haunted the waters as well, and that's just a handful of the many legends surrounding this island and surrounding this area in general. And it has since become a tourist attraction. this area.
Well, what's its state now? Because I remember in 2016, 2017, like around there, they shut it down for a bit. They wouldn't let the public around there, so a lot of people were bribing their way on.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I do think it's open back up now because there's still people that go there. Even as of like a year ago, there's still people showing up to the island. I don't know if they get like special permission.
People were bribing their way on. I remember, like a lot of people have been to this island, like famous YouTubers and TV shows and stuff. Exploring with Josh, that's a great YouTube channel, by the way. I don't know, if you've heard of.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Fantastic YouTube channel.
Wow.
I mean, if you like horror stuff, if you like just the idea of traveling to other countries, if you like the idea of like urban exploration, like all of that in a category, go to this YouTube channel. It's so good. But they did one back when it was closed. They all went all the way to Mexico and found out that the island of the dolls had been closed by the government temporarily.
Okay.
And I don't remember the reason why, but it was closed. And they were like, oh, we went all the way here, and how are we going to get on? And he's like, well, we heard someone say that you can bribe your way on. Because
he did it and it worked?
It's like how you go all over Mexico into places, which is funny.
That's true, yeah.
But
you can bribe the police there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Not to get political or anything, but...
no, yeah.
Yeah.
You absolutely
you absolutely I knew that fact. That was pretty interesting.
I knew two kids that got arrested in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Over a BS charge. And they didn't have money to bribe the cop, and the cop asked for money, like not actually asked, like directly, so because they could like be like, hey, in a court of law, you know what I mean? But they're like, well, I mean, there's a way to get you off of this. They didn't have the money, and they threw them in jail for 9 hours.
Wow.
It was a really crowded jail. It was really hot. They were like sweating. They were panicking.
That's gotta be.
And then after a while, they just let them go because they were like American citizens, and they're like, well, like the government can get involved. You know what I mean? And like really, like mess some stuff up, so they just let him go, but they tried scaring them for 9 hours.
That's terrifying.
That's crazy. Jeez. I know. But yeah, they exploring with Josh, he bribes his way onto the island.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Jeez.
They let him on.
Well, obviously he did. He made a video on it.
Yeah, but there's also a fake island. Do you know about this?
I don't. Let's get into detail on that in a minute, because I want you to tell me about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Exploring with Josh. I haven't heard of that channel before, but I'll check it out, and so should you. So
yeah,
there we go. Yeah, so this has become a tourist attraction.
Big time.
And I think this is a common misconception, is that a lot of people think, like, because there's literally thousands of dolls like hanging up in this island, like thousands.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, like, how did this guy, find thousands of dolls? How did he have the time to hang all these dolls up? Well, the thing is that for a lot of tourists who go on the island, the tradition is to basically bring your own doll to hang up.
No, that's what I was thinking.
So, it's basically, there's a lot more dolls there than the ones that he originally hung up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think everyone brings one.
Yeah. So.
No, because even what is it? I used to love the show. It's not on anymore. Destination Truth.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger.
I was going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, they brought they brought a haunted. They bought a doll at the Spirit Market, and by the way, Mexico City has a Spirit Market that's really big. It's one of the freakiest markets. Like, if you're a tourist in Mexico City, I would go here. It is just incredible. It is the most insane. There's like voodoo, all this weird stuff. So to keep that in mind, this is the closest city, this doll island. So Mexico City is really spiritual. So like this doll island thing, it's not just, oh, we're making money off of Americans that believe in anything. I mean, they legit believe in this stuff. So, but they bought, Josh Gates bought a haunted doll supposedly, and then he offered it with candy and a toy. He lit an offering for the little girl on the island as a way to say, like, don't harm us, we're friends.
Wow, jeez.
A little creepy, I know. But yeah, he left candy and a doll there and a candle, and just I left an offering for the girl. So, which is cool. It's a cool step.
Yeah, so people, they bring their own dolls, and because there's reports that the spirit is still roaming this island, the dolls basically cannot be removed because it would anger the spirit. That's the legend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was a legend started by people to keep this a tourist attraction, or if this is in fact something that people believe.
I think a little bit of both,
probably. Yeah. But so I'm not exactly sure about the origins of that story. But there is reports, because the spirit still roams this island, that people have reported that they've seen the heads move and the arms move of the dolls. They've heard voices.
Mm-hmm.
People taking boat trips nearby the island, not even going to the island, have reportedly heard voices trying to lure lure them to come to the island. I just
Yes. A lot of people
couldn't
say
read
they
that
can hear
correctly, but-
voices trying to get people to leave the boat and come on the island. Because remember, the thing to keep in mind too is like, from what I understand, again, it's a tourist attraction now. I don't know how it works, but at the time when you were like, when little people knew about it and they would just kind of sneak onto it and like, you know, got on, the boats would leave. You were stuck on the island until they came back because the people didn't want to be near the island because they thought it was cursed.
I wouldn't want to be near the island
So
either.
you were stuck.
No, yeah.
The amount of just insanely crazy spiders on that island is just so terrifying, though. I mean, I've seen the videos. It's like just
Oh, it's got to be way more than spiders.
Oh God.
I know you don't like to think about that kind of
No.
stuff, but
I'll take haunted dolls
over
any
spiders.
day. Oh hell yeah.
Spiders, centipedes. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think there'd be centipedes on an island.
I
like
hope
that,
not.
but
I don't know. If that island has anything worth to it, it's like a spider falling out of the eye.
I'm sure. I didn't even think about that. That's probably happened before. No, thank you. Yeah. So now going to Destination Truth, the thing I really wanted to share. But like as you mentioned.
So it's funny you actually looked that up then.
Yeah, they did an episode on the Island of the Dolls.
That's how I first learned about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I haven't seen that episode in probably 10 years.
Yeah, I saw it last year because Sci-Fi Channel bought the show, or not Sci-Fi, Travel Channel bought the show from Sci-Fi.
Oh wow, okay.
And they re-aired all the old episodes as new episodes because I think they wanted to see if it was going to get popular enough because I think they were thinking about bringing it back, and sadly I don't think they were. It was a good show. That was a really good show. It was really funny.
I didn't even know they still aired it. I haven't seen that show in literally 10 years.
Man, I hope they bring it back. Literally, it got bought like a few years ago.
That's good for them. Wow.
So
but
they were thinking about bringing it back. So
yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't find like the full episode online for this. For the show. The Island of the Dolls episode, couldn't find anything about it online. But the only thing I really remember from that episode was one of the investigators reported to see a doll's eye open. The guy
it's on video actually on YouTube.
Yeah, he just ran away.
I don't know if that's fake or not. Obviously,
you don't know, okay.
But if
but yeah, he just like ran away crying, and that was really funny. But
no, yeah, I remember he was the doll. He said this. He goes, if this doll's eyes open, I'm going my pants. And then right as he said that, one eye opened, and then he went, I am done. I am done. And he just like left. He's like, I am done. Like just his reaction was just perfect.
Oh, that's great.
So
wow. Okay.
But yeah, there's a fake island.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about that, please.
Yeah. So this is real. This is crazy. I've seen the fake island on YouTube. I actually I had to tell people that they went to the fake one. People uploaded a video and they didn't know that.
Oh, that must have made them feel terrible.
I felt so good.
Oh, I wasted so much money.
I felt so good about it. No,
you
kidding.
felt good
I didn't.
about it.
I felt bad,
didn't.
but I was like, because they were like, yeah, we went to the Island of the Dolls, Mexico. It was a vlog. It had like 100 views. Like no one watched it. You know, it was just some random video. But I'm looking around and went, what the hell is this? This is not the island. Like it's so weird and much cheaper looking, and there's like not that many dolls. And I found out that there was a fake one online. Like people were warned, like online, there is a fake Island of the Dolls that people will be like, yeah, we'll take you to it, and they scam people, you know, and it's nearby because it's become a tourist destination and so a lot of people have fallen for it.
Jeez, there's been a lot of effort to make something like that.
They literally put no effort into it. It looks so bad. Yeah,
okay.
It looks so bad. There's like 10 dolls there. Well, probably more than that, but it looks stupid.
Okay.
And anyway. I had to tell them. I was like, guys, this is fake. I hate to break it to you, but you're on the fake doll island. There's a real one nearby, and they never responded, which was funny. But there is a fake one.
Wow. Okay. If you ever plan to go to the Island of the Dolls to donate your doll, make sure you don't go to the fake one. Just
no, I know.
Keep an eye out.
I know.
But to wrap this story up though, I don't know. The impression I got, this story felt more sad than scary to me, just because I can tell that this this guy had good intentions. He wanted to, help this girl that he knew he couldn't save, and he felt terrible about it. He just felt sorry, and this was his way of paying respects. Yeah. Unless if that's real, of course. But yeah, but the nature behind it is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very creepy place. I think.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine going to this area, like, with no context at all of what the story is, and just seeing an island full of dolls. That'd be the scariest thing ever.
It's creepy. They built the guy built, like, a shed on it, and then filled the shed with all the dolls, and nailed the dolls to the shed and stuff. I mean, it's just it's creepy. And the thing that makes I mean, if that wasn't bad enough, the thing that makes it so creepy is like the dolls are all messed up looking now because like the weather over time, and they're like deteriorating. So like they're all dirty looking, like missing an eye, and like it's just the most messed up looking like thing ever. It's so messed up. And so I don't know. It's just a very eerie place, and yeah, it's supposedly haunted. It has a weird urban legend behind it, and yeah, it's just strange. It's just one of those places that I think everyone should try and see once, or never go at all. That also works, but yeah, it's very weird.
And that is the Island of the Dolls.
That's the Island of the Dolls.
That's the story. So I don't know if you want to take a little break.
Yeah, let's take a break real quick, and we'll be back soon, everyone. So
all right, thank you. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for Midnight Mystery AM.
All right.
It's the Fisher-Price AM/FM radio with real microphone. Batteries not included. You can be the announcer.
70 degrees, and we got some hot tunes for you.
You can sing along, too. And when you sing into the mic, your voice comes through the radio with the music.
Kid, you are something else.
The Fisher-Price AM/FM radio with real microphone.
I'm Tina Deland on the Federal Beat for WRC All News 98.
I'm Pat Buchanan.
I'm Tom Brady, and this is Confrontation.
The stock market took a long way to turn upward today. I'm Frank Barnaco, and here's the business.
Get what you need to know on WRC All News Radio.
We got more 747s than any other airlines. If you want to go to Tokyo, we can save you 2 hours' time. It's up to us to keep your trust. We can fly you any place, but our job won't be complete without a smile on your face. So you can plan on being happy. Your happiness is in our plans. Fly Pan Am. We want to make you happy. Fly Pan Am. We want to make you happy. Fly Pan Am.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, how are you doing? I'm doing splendid. I hope you're doing the exact same way.
We just talked about dolls.
We just talked about
good
dolls.
At all.
Yeah. It was really interesting. We just talked about the Island of the Dolls, and now we're ready to transition to another doll that is equally as terrifying, Robert the Doll.
This is a more personal one.
Yeah, you and I, we both went to see Robert the Doll back in 2012.
Yeah. I've seen Robert twice, 2 or 3 times in person.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Around that number as well.
Yeah. So it's creepy. So, you know.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So this is a pretty similar story. I guess not completely similar, but there's some parallels.
Let me just say, I'm going to interrupt you right now.
Yeah.
This is a great freaking story. It is so creepy. It is just great. I think it's written so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Well, a lot of the accounts of this are real.
Yeah, no,
that's
the thing that really baffles me about the...
Some of the details are exaggerated, but this is like there's some pretty weird shit.
That's the thing that baffles me about the story is that, like, I think to myself, like, there's no way that this can be real, but people, like, swear it is, and it just... That really throws me off, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems so, like, out of the realm of possibility, but people are, like, so adamant that this actually happened to them. And I think that's just really what made this story stand out to me. I've actually talked about this story before on my channel. It was a few years back.
Yeah, on your Metafiction Theater video, right?
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
Is that the video?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's my favorite video of yours you've ever done.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
really?
your 10,000 subscriber special.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
You're pushing 20,000. I mean, I'm not trying to suggest something, but just saying.
Okay.
I think a sequel is in order.
We'll see. Yeah, okay.
Because that was a great video. But yes, go
I'll
ahead.
see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. But yeah. I like I said, I briefly covered it though. Like I talked about it maybe for like 3 or 4 minutes, but I don't think I went into the really
There's more stuff to it.
Good details.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to it that I didn't cover just for time reasons. But we're gonna cover that today, to the best of my ability, best of our ability. So here we go. Robert the Doll, the story. So this was in Key West, Florida. If you don't know where that is, that's in the Straits of Florida. So it's not
like
just
the closest point of Florida to Cuba.
Yeah, it's not in the state itself.
Yeah.
So it's in the islands below Cuba, below Florida and above Cuba. And yeah, like I said, it's known as Key West. Very beautiful island, by the way. Very big tourist attraction too. Particularly probably because of this story. Would you say?
No,
I mean, it has a lot of history, but I think a lot of people come here for that as well.
It's a really weird town. A lot of actual bad stuff has happened in the town.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of weird stories like Robert the Doll that are just downright creepy have happened here as well. It's not just this one story.
Oh, yeah, no. Ernest Hemingway lived here. He killed himself in this city.
Right.
This is where he killed himself. Really, really dark history. This was a pirate town. A lot of pirates and stuff, like, a lot of bad things happened. Oh, and then you covered another story. You remember?
Yeah, that's the one.
What's
that was
the
the one I had in mind. The guy who stuffed his dead wife.
Yeah.
No, I know. I talked about it. I totally forgot the details.
Yeah, no. Well, I forgot his name, but yeah, there was this crazy doctor who fell in love with one of his patients, a young, beautiful girl. She dies. He was this old, creepy guy, and he became obsessed with her and dug her out of her grave and literally covered her in wax and kept her body in his house for 7 years.
I think that's its own episode.
And this really happened. Yeah. And this was in the same town. This was all in the same town as this story with Robert the Doll. So this is a very strange, eerie town. It's a small town, really small. It is super weird though. Just there's so much backstory to it. But yeah, just to give some credit there. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Ironically, you know more about that doctor story than I do, and I was the one who did a video on it. It's been so long. But Robert the Doll. So this was in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, 1904 actually, if I remember correctly. I think that was the year he got the doll. Or by he, I mean Robert Eugene Otto. So this doll was owned by Robert Eugene Otto. Yeah, the boy. He was the son of the Otto family, which was a pretty famous family at the time. They were kind of like celebrities in Key West a little bit. They were kind of like I don't want to say a royal family, but they had that level of prestige and
what did they do?
A little bit. I just read about it and I don't remember. That's not good. But
like politicians or something?
Not politicians. They owned some company that was really successful out there.
They were pretty wealthy. They had a pretty big house at the time.
They were very
wealthy.
Wealthy. Not pretty wealthy, very wealty. I think if I remember correctly, they were the wealthiest family in Key West. So they had a name for themselves out there. They had a good reputation. Like I said, don't remember the company name. It's up. I don't remember the company they had. It's up. It's out there. You can look it up. But yeah. So he received this doll while he was growing up. I don't remember how old he was. I think he was either 5 or 6. I don't remember his age. But his nickname was Gene. So instead of Robert Eugene Otto, his nickname was Gene.
Right.
And he decided to change his nickname to Gene as he was growing up. And people would ask him why. And his response was always, because Robert said so.
Well, how did you get the doll?
So how he got the doll. So the origins of the doll. So the doll was created by the Steiff Company, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Steiff Company, and that's located in Germany. And fun fact, this is actually the same company that invented the teddy bear. So in case you didn't know that. And the thing about this doll was that this was not originally meant to be a toy, but rather meant to be something that you display on your window for decoration. And thing is that we're not exactly sure how Gene got this doll. There's only 2 theories. The first theory is that a maid of the Otto family possessed the doll with voodoo magic. Apparently this maid was a practice of
there's some rumors that the Otto
voodoo.
family was kind of racist. They treated her pretty badly, and she, out of revenge.
Yeah, it was out of revenge. She
created the doll for their kid, and
was
like, oh, here, it's
and possessed it with voodoo and whatnot. And the second theory Probably the most likely theory for a lot of people is that it was just a gift from his grandpa, and his grandpa bought it from Germany, where the doll was made.
I didn't even know the doll was made there. I actually thought she made the doll, according to the legend.
I did too,
yeah.
but after doing the research, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense actually.
That's crazy.
Because it doesn't really look like.
Yeah,
an
so they were
American
did
doll,
they like
se,
custom make the doll? Because I've never seen anyone claim to have another doll that looks like it. They must have.
I don't know. I want to say no. Actually, I want to say that this was a doll they regularly made because it wasn't meant to be a toy.
No one
originally.
else has ever claimed one though.
I know, that's the thing. So
seems a little weird.
It's weird, yeah. So
it's kind of elaborate doll. It's like an expensive doll for sure. It's probably was like a few $100
even at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe not a few $100 at that time. That's
but like worth that equivalent now.
Yeah,
no, like
now,
seriously, it was probably like a $300 doll. Like if we're talking now, like it was very elaborate.
Yeah, it was
big
expensive
and expensive. Yeah. It was like a very nice doll.
Yeah, so whatever $100 was 100 years ago, that's probably how much it costs, just, based on looking at it. And after receiving this doll, Gene became obsessed with Robert, and arguably too obsessed. He started taking it with him everywhere. He even started dressing him in his clothes that he didn't fit in anymore, like clothes that he wore growing up. He decided to hand it down to Robert, and he would actually dress up Robert. And he would just take him out in public like that. And he also referred to the doll in first person as if it wasn't like an object, but as if, he was a person, as if the doll was alive.
But he named him Robert after his first name.
Yeah,
named him after himself.
And he referred to himself as Gene. It actually got so bad that he even built an attic for this doll. And even inside this attic, he included furniture and toys that were doll-sized. And... Yeah, like I said, that's like kind of later on. But growing up with this doll, his parents even started to notice that weird things would kind of happen, like around the household. Like they would find things like out of place, like there'd be furniture moved in different spots. Things that shouldn't be in certain spots in the house were like on the other side of the room, just like weird things like that. And every time they asked,
they would say also that they would hear him. They would hear like their Gene like talk to himself and refer to himself, and then when they would ask him like, "Why are you talking to himself?" Because no, I was talking to Robert, and that was Robert's voice responding.
Yeah,
and the doll.
Yeah, and like after seeing all this weird behavior, they thought it was just Gene being a weird little kid or something, just being silly, and they went to confront him about it, like, hey, like what are you doing? Like why is this happening? And like why'd you do this? And he would say, oh no, Robert did it. And he really felt that this doll was doing this stuff, and just really weird. And initially they thought it was just kids being kids. Kids have a very vivid imagination, and they make things up like that. But then the parents started to experience like Robert did it for themselves. They started to actually see weird things happen around the doll, like with the doll in the same room, rather than just hearing it from word of mouth from their son. They actually like see these weird things happening around them with the doll in the same room as them. And so they start to become really skeptical about what's going on, and like they're not really sure if it's just like they're not really sure what's happening.
Well, wasn't there an incident that they like heard a bunch of noise one night or something in Robert's room or Gene's room, and like a bunch of stuff was thrown over?
I think.
Yeah, this is a story. And
then,
the kid
think I know
said,
what you're talking about.
The kid said Robert did it, and they're like, "What?" Like that was creepy. Now he's blaming like stuff being thrown over on the doll, and they even said they didn't. I don't know if there's any record of them saying this, but there is a story too that they that was born that they found Robert with a knife once, and just the doll.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's an interesting take on things.
It's weird. Yeah. But yeah, I remember hearing about the knife thing. I didn't like look into that, but I do know that story. It's just freaking weird. So I guess just to fast forward a little bit. So basically, like, as a kid, like, that was basically what would happen. That was basically the kind of stuff that would happen. And but to fast forward a little bit, by the time Gene's in college, after he graduates college, he meets a girl named Anne, and they eventually get married. And after getting married, they decide to go back to his childhood house. the house he grew up with Robert the doll. And now that he's like an adult now, and he's graduated college, he's not playing with toys anymore, obviously. So rather than like being Robert being in like his room, he now is sitting in a chair facing the window, the front window of the front of the house. And so basically, it's in public
Still
view.
pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's in public view for anyone walking by.
I've heard these stories. Yeah.
Yes, and while it was sitting there, a lot of reports from from the public of people walking by that house, a lot of them have reported very strange like activity. For example, there was a plumber that came in to that house one day, and they noticed that they saw Robert move to the other side of the room, like so he went in one room, and then when he came back to the room that Robert was in the other side of the room, and also like his toys were misplaced. The toys that Jean gave him were misplaced. They were like he described as if they looked like the toys were thrown. That's how the plumber described it. It looked like the toys were like thrown to the other side of the room. And the plumber also claimed that he heard laughter, like children's laughter. And on top of that, multiple people start to actually avoid going to the house or like passing the house because what they were seeing while they were going there was so disturbing. They were claiming that the doll would like move positions, like
move its head and stuff.
Yeah, move its head,
like
move
look
its
at
arm.
them.
Yeah, every time they'd like go by it, it wouldn't be there sometimes,
Right.
and they were just like confused, and it just disturbed them so much they would literally avoid that part of town when they were out in public. And visitors of the house, like when the family would have visitors, they would claim to hear steps in the attic, and they would also claim to see that things would move, like by themselves, basically. And so this doll was kind of getting a reputation a little bit, even while like Jean was still alive, and I'm going to get to that now. So Jean died in 1974.
Wait. Let's explain something.
Okay.
The thing that was so weird about this story, regardless if it's an urban legend or not, likely is, but like Jean forgot about this doll obviously as he grew up because he became an adult. What did happen, and from what I can figure out, this is real. He like got obsessed with the doll again as an adult, and it was kind of weird and creepy to his wife.
I think I would attribute that to him building the attic. It makes sense.
No. Yeah, he apparently he would like because he wasn't Jean an artist. Right?
He was. Yeah, he went to an art school.
Yeah, he was an artist. He would paint and have the doll with him all the time. He brought the doll to the dinner table with his wife. Like, it was getting really creepy for her, and she was, like, he started getting obsessed with it again as an adult. And, watch, he probably married him for his money.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
But it was getting disturbing for her, and it was just odd because it was like, okay, aside from the stories, like, let's just say the urban legends aren't real, it is very strange that an adult would be obsessed with this doll. So that's what was happening. And yes, he dies in 1974.
Yeah, so you mentioned some very important details. I didn't mean to jump too far ahead, but that was stuff I didn't even.
But that's what makes it. I think people forget about that a lot. Like people just go, no, as a kid, and kid talked to doll story, creepy, and then that's it. And it's like, no, this is adult talking to doll stories.
You're right. Yeah.
And it got creepy, and he still referred to it as Robert, and like not by his first name, like, and he still went by Jean. It was really creepy.
Right.
Like from what I understand, that was real.
Yeah, I apologize for missing that very important detail because that's a very important detail of the story. So, I guess to go back to what I said, so Jean died in 1974, and the way he died was really weird. So,
how did he die?
He was found inside his attic.
No, he wasn't.
And Robert's hands were around his neck.
Fuck that's not true.
No.
No, are you serious?
This is not confirmed.
There's no way that's true. There's no way that's true.
I'm very skeptical about it, but when I read it, I'm like, you know what? I have to bring this up. That is so... Yeah. So,
no. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that's not true.
So,
I've
let's
never
hope
heard
that's
of
an
this.
urban legend.
I think that has to be. Come on.
If that's real, that is so terrifying.
Dude, what a douche doll to do that, too.
Right?
Like he took care of him. He fed him, I bet he fed him royalty food, no Gerbers and stuff, Like, I mean... That doll was taken care of.
He was a rich doll.
He was a rich doll.
He had everything handed to him,
He had a view.
And now he, takes revenge on his owner. But, so Jean dies, and
chills there.
be honest, I'm not sure what happened to his wife.
I think, from what I understand, she just she sold the house. I don't know how long. After.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
yeah.
She did sell the house. Okay, because that gets to my next point. So immediately after Jean died, I'm not sure if Jean dying was the reason she sold the house. Maybe it probably makes sense.
Probably
it makes sense timeline-wise. But so after Jean dies, a new lady named Myrtle Reuter. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but she buys the house. And she also buys some of the furniture and like the content inside.
Yes,
and
I know this.
Including that is Robert the Doll. So she inherits Robert the Doll.
Yeah. But keep this in mind. She didn't know that Robert the Doll was in the house when she bought it.
That's true. Yeah,
that's a true thing. Yeah. So obviously, and left him behind on purpose. Most likely on purpose, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess you would think that like you would take your husband's most prized possession as like a memory, and she didn't.
I'm thinking it just probably had
Maybe
so many
too creepy.
negative associations with.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like
yeah.
even if it wasn't haunted, I mean, it was just the doll that he was obsessed with. It's a little odd.
Yeah. But I don't know if Myrtle knew that
she didn't.
The house, like that the doll was haunted, or if she even knew of the doll before that. I knew it had a bit of like a name, it had a bit of a reputation with like public, the general public. I don't know if she knew.
Mean,
I don't know if she was aware that it was like a haunt. She was aware of the haunted doll, so I don't know if she.
Well, she wasn't. She didn't know it was in the house. That's true.
Okay,
so she just
true.
bought the house.
Yeah,
and then she.
But when she did find it, I don't think she was. I don't know if she was like, oh my gosh, it's Robert the doll.
Yeah,
or if
wasn't
she
it like she
doll.
was hearing noises in the attic and she looked and found the doll? Isn't that how she found it? Apparently, because people said that like. And by the way, she found this doll. You know what year? Or when the doll was actually found? Like the 90s.
Oh, really?
It's fairly recent, yeah. So that doll was in there for like 20 years in the attic.
Actually, that does kind of dispute with the research I did. Because,
oh, it does?
Yeah,
I heard
it was.
Okay,
because,
what did you hear?
Okay, so, like I said, this is, I don't...
Yeah, it's fine. Just what did you hear?
Differing opinions from sources. But, okay, so, based on what I wrote, so she kept the doll. So she received the doll pretty shortly after she bought the house, and she kept it with her for decades. And she even brought it with her when she moved to her new home in the mid-1980s. So that would be before the 90s. And during this time, so she kept the doll for multiple decades. So she kept it like through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s as well. So, but she claimed that during that time, she made the reports everyone else made. Stuff would move, toys would move, furniture would move. She would hear footsteps. She would hear laughing, whispering.
What the hell was that? Freaked me out. That sound. Yeah. That was
I didn't know what that was either.
Wait, seriously?
No.
That was creepy.
Oh, great. Okay, that's...
Wow, that gave me chills. I thought that was you flicking the paper.
It's Robert the doll.
No, it's Barry the clown doll.
It's Barry the clown doll. But it got so bad, just the behavior, it got so bad that she ultimately decided to donate the doll to a museum. She wanted to get rid of it,
which is nearby.
Yeah, it's the one.
What's
nearby.
It called? Like the Martello Museum or something weird? I could be completely wrong.
I have no
idea.
Like
that's what it is. It's in an old Spanish fort, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like in that
fort.
military fort thing area.
Yeah, from like it's in an old fort. Yeah. They turned it into a museum. That's where you could find the pictures of the weird clay body lady that we mentioned earlier too. Like it's like meant to be like a museum of oddities in history of Key West. But yeah, Robert's there now and he resides there till this day.
Yeah, and so when she donated this doll, the museum thought she was crazy. She thought this is just some crazy old woman. Don't take her seriously. So they didn't put it all on display or anything. They kept it in a storage closet and it wasn't displayed for a little bit. They just kept it in their possession, didn't do much with it. But shortly after, the museum received multiple requests from people in the public to see the doll, and that they really wanted to be on display. The weird thing is that the fact that this doll was sold was not like public. This was not released to any public press or anything. So it's kind of weird how people even found out that she donated this doll to the museum, because there was no like reportings about it.
Mm-hmm.
So museum thought like, okay, this is obviously more than what we were like assuming it to be, because people are talking about it, people are asking us about it, and we didn't even like mention anything to the public.
So they're like, okay, we got a prized possession then.
Potentially, yeah.
So
and
Like, we got money.
They received multiple letters, even like apologies to apologies to Robert Adolph.
But this is after it's put on display, correct?
This is before.
Ew, that's weird.
So there's already people writing apologies even before
to the
he's
doll.
on display for stuff that they did. I guess when it was out in front of the auto house on the porch or something. I guess those people wronged him somehow and somehow got cursed. And so the museum, like you said, they ultimately the museum finds out like, hey, we have like a prized possession here. So they decide to put it on display finally. And it's still on display today, in 2019.
Yeah, and I know that it is on display. You can see it. I've seen it, and I can tell you just from personal experience. Obviously, I don't know how to feel about the paranormal. I reside on the side of it's probably not real, and there's just a lot of fun stories out there. But
I guess so. But you have to keep in mind though too is that like this isn't just one person's story. This is so many people's story. Now it's like thousands of people's stories.
No. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I can tell you for a fact, I felt so uneasy looking at that doll straight in its eyes.
I did too.
It's so you get the most uncomfortable feeling. Like, seriously. And that could obviously be because of the urban legend behind the doll, that could obviously be associated with it, but it's just like, ooh, like, it's just uncomfortable. I mean, it's really cool, and I would recommend anyone who's out in Key West or who's never been, like, go make a trip to go see.
Yeah.
Just Key West in general is such a interesting place. There's so much more to do than go see the haunted doll. But, it's just... there's something so strange about it, and it is a really old doll. I mean, it is an actual old doll. It's not like it was just made up out of thin air. Like, this was a real doll. The Gene Otto is a real person. Like, a lot of this stuff is real. It's just, it's surrounded with urban legends, just like the Island of the Dolls is. But yeah, you can go to there, and they tell you that if you want to take a picture of Robert, you have to ask his permission.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was gonna get. Yeah,
yep.
So if you do plan to go to Key West, make sure
they advise you. They literally advise you. They have a sign that says if you want to take a picture of Robert, we advise you ask him, as he gets angry if you don't. And there's people who claim that when they took a picture and didn't, and like weird shit happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a yellow sign. It says "Warning: Don't photograph" in all caps, and it hangs up behind Robert the doll.
Yeah.
Or it hangs up by Robert the doll, and yeah, you must ask his permission before taking his photo.
Yeah, I saw one person ask him. I said, "Can I take a picture of you?" Then he took a picture, and then the next person didn't ask and took a picture.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh no."
But yeah, and if you don't ask for permission, the legend is that he puts a curse on you. And some people have even reported that when they do take a picture of the doll, that their cameras stop working sometimes. And the curses that like he allegedly puts on people, apparently it's so commonplace that they even have letters hanging up across all over the entire room of they're just letters that are apologizing for taking his photo without his permission. And
yeah, that's true. And I know that you mentioned this in your video, but I did actually know this before. George Bush and Jeb Bush, they both wrote letters to Robert, right?
That's right, yeah.
They both did, or was it just George Bush?
I think it was just George Bush Jr.
Oh, I thought you said it was Jeb, too.
Oh, was it Jeb Bush?
Yeah, you said that in your video.
Oh,
you said it was both. They could probably both did.
It was so long ago.
No, but yeah,
I don't remember the
George.
nitty-gritty
I know
details,
for a fact at least George.
No,
Bush
I know
did.
at least George Bush did.
Yeah, that's
I think,
true.
Okay, if Jeb Bush did too. It makes sense. But also, it's not just taking his photo without his permission. You also can't view photos of him without his permission. You can't read stories about him without his permission.
Yeah, I've seen comments and I've watched a video. You pull up any video on Robert the Doll on YouTube, all the comments say, "Robert, please forgive me for viewing," like all in an order. Like people are so into this, and it's so creepy reading at the comments. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take my chances and not type this, and I get weirded out.
So basically, me and you, we're gonna die tonight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we didn't ask. But
Man.
Robert, for watching, forgive us though.
Yeah, Robert.
But the curses that he puts on you, they can involve car accidents, divorce, illness, injuries, theft, and financial ruin.
Oh, so like everyday life.
So
there you go.
And here are some of the letters that I actually printed out. Some of the letters that I can read to you. So here's one. I changed the names out of respect for privacy, but
just say the first name.
But here we go. So it says, Robert, sorry I did not ask out loud to take your photo. Since then, my husband lost his 1-carat diamond out of his ring. I tore my rotator cuff and my daughter's wedding was canceled. All happened before I returned home. Please stop the curse. I am truly sorry, and life is tough enough. Sincerely, Jennifer. And this is one from TripAdvisor. This is a TripAdvisor review about the museum.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like someone from TripAdvisor?
Yeah, they gave a 5-star review, so not harming the business or
Well,
anything. But,
okay.
But they put their story inside their review.
Hold on. You phrased that weird. The company TripAdvisor wrote
No,
this review, or if this review found on TripAdvisor?
The review found on TripAdvisor.
Okay. I was confused at first. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, I should have clarified that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I thought you meant like this is from TripAdvisor, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. Yeah.
No, not
like,
the official company
creepy.
that came out. I apologize.
That would
no.
have been so much creepier.
A reviewer on TripAdvisor.
Gotcha.
Let me rephrase that.
Go ahead.
Reviewer on TripAdvisor claimed they took the photo without permission, and all 50 of their tourist photos when they were at Key West were all completely wiped from their hard drive.
Wow. Okay.
And when they took it to the camera store to try and get the situation figured out, they literally had no idea why or no idea how these photos were deleted. There was totally a confusion to them.
Right.
And it was all because they didn't ask permission, allegedly. And all of their memories for that trip were erased, basically. One letter was short and sweet. All caps, please make this stop. That was one letter that was sent to him. And this last letter, this was really weird. This is a really weird one. It's Dear Robert, you are an inspiration. You are my hero. I have created my own Robert the Doll, and he watches TV with me in my chair at night. My wife and children do not understand me. My Robert the Doll is the only one who listens. I don't know what I would do without Robert the Doll. Your friend, John.
Ugh.
I honestly can't tell.
I hope he dies.
No, come on. I can't tell.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's a joke or... That just makes me uneasy.
Yeah. That's good.
But that is Robert the Doll.
You legit should write a letter. Being a Sign It Nation Squid. You're as a horror channel, I think you have earned the right. That's everyone listening, demand that Nation Squid write a letter signed Nation Squid.
An apology needs to be genuine, though.
It doesn't have to mean an apology. Just write a letter how much you respect Robert.
I do respect him, of course.
And that you want to sleep with him. Say whatever you want. Say whatever's on your mind.
But yeah, and now you're putting. I feel very pressured right now.
I think you should. I think it would be cool.
But oh boy,
I'd write one.
It's a disturbing story. I know. Yeah, this is in all seriousness.
No apologies. George Bush's was an apology.
Yeah, in all seriousness, if these if this is all true, I genuinely do not mean to disrespect any spirits. I don't like to cause trouble. To the best of my ability.
I'll say one.
Has it worked sometimes, but
I'll say one thing. The news did an interview with Robert, one of the news channels, and they literally interviewed Robert the Doll. They set up an interview, and I don't know if they asked permission or anything, but they tried interviewing the doll. That was a real thing that happened. It's just creepy. It's a real story here, and it's attracted lots of people. By the way, if anyone's interested, I've always wanted to do this. I haven't. The Robert's house, Robert Eugene, the auto house is still around. People live in it, but it's a hotel. It's a small hotel, like a bed and breakfast. If you didn't know that, still is. You can go and stay there. Like I said, they only have 4 available bedrooms, because it's there's actual people that live there, but they run it. It's like a bed and breakfast.
That's right, yeah.
I think that would be a cool experience. I wonder if it's still creepy stuff
Give that
happens.
a try while you're there.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, if I know there's a lot of skeptics, too, and that totally makes sense. Just be careful. Maybe you're not superstitious. Maybe you're just a little stitious, though.
There you go.
Just be careful.
It's an interesting story, and I still think the Island of the Dolls sounds 1,000 times worse. But
oh yeah,
I don't know. I've experienced this 3 times. I've seen Robert the Doll in person 3 times.
I don't know. I've always gotten uneasy from the Robert the Doll story, though. So
it is. It's very uneasy. But I've seen the doll 3 times. You get the feeling
of someone watching you when you read that story.
I've seen
not
it,
so much with Island of the Dolls,
But nothing's happened to me. But then again, I've done nothing to piss him off. I've been in the room alone with him several times, and it's horrifying. Literally alone.
When I did do that visit, the one we talked about. Now that I look back, at like certain events that happened during that time, I can think like, yeah, maybe I was cursed.
Like what?
But who knows? I guess, well, not to get personal over here, but just, yeah, weird stuff happened.
Huh.
So.
Okay, well.
Yeah. I'm
nothing
thinking, yeah,
happened to
that's definitely probably a curse, but yeah.
No, but yeah, that's the Robert the Doll story. It's pretty creepy. It's
All right, now it's your turn.
Yeah, I got another doll story, probably the one most people are
so.
familiar with, more than this one.
For sure.
I won't try to like overdo it because I know it's been talked about so much, but there is an actual story behind this, and that's the Annabelle doll, the real Annabelle doll, not the movie. You know,
the movie. The movie's based on this story.
Sort of
loosely, yeah.
I mean, but that's like every horror movie.
That's every horror movie. Yeah.
So yeah, there was a real Annabelle doll. This was the story, and this whole story begins in 1970, so pretty old. I want to remember the name. The girl's name was Donna. Donna was a college graduate. She was a nurse. She moved out of her parents' place into her own apartment with her roommate. I don't know if her roommate was her friend, but someone named Angie.
Okay.
They moved into an apartment together. And her Donna's mom bought her a Raggedy Ann doll that she found at a hobby store. I don't know what a hobby store is. Like, I don't mean if they mean like a Hobby Lobby or if they mean like a thrift store.
I don't know. I know nothing. I don't think Hobby Lobby was around.
Like
70s.
Owen Wilson is like, you did a nostalgia shop, you know. But
but any particular reason why she bought her the doll? Because she's like a nurse and stuff.
Yeah, and an adult. And she's 28 years old. Yeah, it was creepy. People point out this is a creepy detail, and it is. No, not really. It was just congratulations, you moved out on your own gift.
It's weird, like buying a 28-year-old doll.
Yeah, a 28-year-old nurse, a doll with no kids. Yeah, it's a little strange. And like, I understand that I didn't see anything that she had a Raggedy Ann doll as a kid. Like, I didn't see any connection from what I've read online. So it was a little weird. But she was like, whatever. She took the doll and just kind of displayed it. You know, it wasn't like she was creepy with it or anything. She just had it. It was just a decoration piece as far as she was concerned. But her and her roommate started noticing weird things that like the doll would be in like different places every time they would like leave and stuff. And they were like, you know, what, did you move that? And like, no, I didn't move that. And it would just be like a little weird. I think they noticed it, but nothing.
I'm noticing a lot of parallels with Robert the Doll with this one.
Yes. And you could argue that that's part of like maybe the fakeness around the story, if it is fake.
Okay, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's but like that's how every doll story begins.
That's true.
You know, it starts small, then goes big.
Okay.
So this is a more intense story.
Then
much
Robert
more
the Doll.
intense. Much more intense.
Okay.
Yeah, according to actual reports. Which is why this movie was such a big deal, because this story, like, this doll has such a dark background. It makes Robert look like a good guy. I'll just say that. Robert looks like a hero compared to this thing. So, but then there were really weird stuff. Like, not only is the doll moving completely, but it's in a new room with the door closed. Okay, like, so they're like.
I'm just wondering how that doll can reach the doorknob. You know?
Yeah, I know. You know, but
or maybe it has like telekinetic powers. You know,
like a Star Trek character. But like what happens? I'm trying to remember here. Oh yes, this is when it gets creepy. Now they claim, Angie and Donna are claiming, now they're finding notes written by the doll. Help me. Help us. And they found one that said, help Lou. Who's Lou? Lou was a friend of Donna's. Which is weird. A good friend of his. And so they're finding these notes written looked like in child's handwriting. And the weird thing is Donna and Angie both said, we never even bought that type of paper. So I don't even know where the paper came from. This was a claim. So it's like the paper's now appearing out of thin air. Like, just weird details. And so finally, Donna is like, okay, I'm believing that this is a paranormal entity. Like, she's okay to say, like, yeah, there's a ghost in this thing. Like, she thinks it's possessed. And so she calls a medium. And the medium comes over, and the medium analyzes the house, analyzes the doll, and then the medium says this. He goes, okay, I have figured out what's going on. There is indeed a spirit in this house, and it is in your doll, and it's the spirit is a little girl, a 7-year-old girl, and her name is Annabelle Higgins.
I guess that kind of
Yes,
I guess that kind of gets rid of my theory.
But. No, but that's the what happened is that it was based off a real girl. This medium said her name is Annabelle Higgins. That's her name, and she died, and now she took possession in this doll. And what was weird was I remember before this. Oh yeah, Lou. Lou was the friend. He would come over and he said like, "Don't even get rid of this doll." Lou would say, "Get rid of this doll. This is really creepy. You shouldn't
Want to know
keep it."
something interesting too?
What? What's up?
You know who else is named Lou?
Who?
Satan in Guitar Hero 3. So.
What?
Little plot.
Oh wow!
Right
What do you know? Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Who's the god of rock? Robert the doll.
But I mean, like,
connection.
I can make the connection, so can you.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a coincidence? I don't think so. But
yeah. There's a DLC where you can play on the Island of the Dolls map pack. No, but so stupid. Okay, so, but yeah, Lou is like, get rid of this doll. This is evil. Like, this is creepy. Like, you don't need this. But Donna, on the other hand, was like, no, I'm gonna keep the doll. It's a little girl. Like, I'm gonna keep it. Like, and it said, help us. It wants to stay with us. And that's something the medium said. Medium said, like, yeah, like it's worried. It's kind of scared. Like, it just wants comfort or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're gonna keep it. And so they keep it.
I don't know. I wouldn't keep something like that.
But all they were seeing, keep in mind, all they're seeing is this doll's moving around, not causing any trouble, and it wrote a letter that said, help me or help us. And so Donna's just like, well, if it's an actual little girl that's stuck in this doll and it just wants a family, like, well, we're going to keep it. Like, I'm going to be nice to it.
Yeah.
But Lou, when it said help Lou on the letter that they wrote, Lou was like, get rid of this thing. This is creepy. And they didn't listen. But then stuff starts going down intensely. Very intensely.
All right.
From what I understand,
I'm interested.
Not only is it moving around, it's moving around aggressively. Messing things a little
Wait,
up.
like they're seeing it move, or they
no,
look away and it's in a different spot?
They're seeing like, okay, let's say it would get off the bed, now it's messing up the bed. Just being a little more aggressive, you know, messing things up. Moving all the time, much more often, stuff like that. And so they're just like, okay, this is weird. It's pretty active. But what really did it is Lou slept over one night. Remember, he was written in a letter. Apparently, child's handwriting said, help Lou. He slept over one night, and he claimed that he woke up one night in sleep paralysis, basically. But the Annabelle doll was on his bed, and he claims that it climbed up him and started strangling him and choking him. To the point where he blacked out. And then the next day, he woke up and he swore. He's like, this was not a dream. I did experience this thing. This doll tried killing me last night.
Oh,
and so at this point, they're all very scared. And like, okay, we need to figure this out. And so they contact a priest. And this priest goes, I'm not in this business. But I'm going to refer you to another priest, a priest higher than me that could do this. And then this priest is interested, and I think he goes over and like blesses the place and stuff. And he goes, okay, like I don't know what you should do with the doll. I wouldn't like say let's get rid of it. And so I think what happens is either he gets contacted or he is contacted by, most of you probably have heard, the Warren family.
The Warren family.
The Warren family, who infamously owns the Annabelle doll now.
Okay.
They collected haunted objects, and they said that they were like demonologists, basically. They would
So they knew like about all this stuff, basically.
They were experts in the paranormal, according to them, and they collected haunted stuff over the years, and they would entrap the haunted dolls and haunted objects into one room so they can never harm the world. That was sort of like their position. So they took really big interest in this case.
But how would they put new spirits in that room? Like,
well, we talk about that.
Be a scary thing to do.
They said it was difficult. It was always a difficult process because it was aggressive. But they were like, okay, this is interesting because this sounds like something we know. So they basically told the priest, hey, we'll handle this. And the priest went, good. And the church didn't want to be involved because then that makes the church look like more sketchy and like, oh, look at the voodoo stuff, you know, like more people would be weirded out. And so they go over. And by the way, the Warren family was the family that dealt with the that one case where I forgot, the demon in the house that made the girl float one night in that one photograph.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
They're the family that solved that case.
What? I'm trying to think. They made a movie on that.
Yeah, that's The Conjuring.
Was that The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Warren family, all the Conjuring movies, all those movies in that universe deal with the Warren family story.
I know that movie and Annabelle are the same universe.
Yeah. But, all those movies are pretty much tied together to the Warren family. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were husband and wife, and they were investigators. So it sort of surrounds them solving these cases. But yes, this was the same. They did actually do that accordingly. I mean, like, it is recorded that they were there and like tried solving the case, but like, I don't know if, you know, it's a scam or not. That's what I say accordingly. But they went in and they investigated the doll, and I'm missing an important detail I forgot. This was the final straw. It wasn't just the choking thing. Lou claims that one night he felt, I think he was on vacation too. This was what was weird. They didn't even have the doll with them. That he started feeling extreme pain in his chest when he was with Donna. And then he starts grabbing his chest. And when he grabs his chest, he feels all this blood on his chest. And he's like, what? And he looks down and it's just covered in blood. And he opens his shirt. He's got this claw mark that's huge.
Oh,
and it's bleeding really bad. And according to them, within 2 days, it was completely gone. The mark. Didn't even leave any sort of scar. Like,
really?
It never happened. If you me, that smells like BS, but yes. So because
he didn't even like feel.
Bro, I saw a thing, but I was so scared I didn't even pull out my cell phone to take a picture.
But
that's what that sounds like.
He didn't even feel like the claw mark on him. Like he didn't
no,
feel
he
like
did.
it inflicted on him.
No, he did. He just felt pain really.
I was thinking just like a sharp pain, like you're about to like a heart
attack or something. Yeah, no. And I think that's sort of why I would imagine that's what he did think at first. So it's actually better that it wasn't.
But it didn't feel like a scratching sensation.
No, but it was a big claw. And anyway, the fast forward, this is when they were like, enough is enough. We need to contact someone. Hence, they investigate it, and they said, Ed and Lorraine do their thing, and they go, this doll is not possessed by a little girl. We know that much. It is a demon, and not only is it a demon, it is in the process of sucking the life force out of both of you, and you probably have 2 weeks before you're completely possessed by this thing. So we're going to remove this.
They were trying to like possess the people
yes,
in the
and
house,
hence
too.
all the pain and all the stress and all the stuff they went. This is in the process of taking over, and so they take the doll and they're like, we're going to take this thing and we're going to solve this, and then they sent the priest to bless their house and stuff. Lou and Donna are both dead, by the way, and so I don't remember how they died, but some people tie that they died because of this doll. Some people do tie that.
That's got to be so scary.
Yeah, there's the dark shape. Anyway,
most of these stories, they don't deal with death.
Ed and Lorraine are driving home. They're like swerving a lot. It's a really rough night on the road, and they're thinking that this demon in the doll is trying to make them crash while they have it in the car with them. And so what happens is Ed takes out a bunch of holy water and just starts splashing the doll as Lorraine's driving, and it stops. The roads are normal again. And that's how intense they kept saying this thing was. Like, this is one of the most intense spirits we've ever dealt with. It is the most evil thing. Like, it is like just like unbelievably powerful. Yeah. And they were able to remove it, and they were able to secure it in a cage. They put it in a cage. And by the way, where it is today, it's in the the Warren Occult Museum, and it's in their house, and they keep it all in a basement. All the stuff they've collected over the years.
Wait, is that still the same house they like sleep in?
Yeah, they sleep in it.
Why?
They have a whole thing they walk through. They have a whole procedure on how they walk through. Even Lorraine said, I never look at the doll when I go into the room. I never pay attention to the doll.
Just ignores it.
I ignore it. That's how
I just don't know how you can live in an environment like that every day.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty creepy. Regardless, I mean, but this is the thing. The thing is this doll is still active, according to people, and it has been since they've retrieved it. And like, for example, there was a priest that came over, because I think they were still trying to figure out what this doll was. They were like, okay, like, what demon is it? Can we figure out its name? Stuff like that, And they had a priest come over, a young priest, and the doll was on a chair once. It was out of its cage, right? And I think they brought the priest over to, like, explain the story, see if, like, he can bless the house, like, stuff like that, And the priest picked up the doll, and they had said, don't touch the doll. The priest picked up the doll in front of them and said something like, I am way more powerful than you, and like threw the doll back onto the chair. And they were like, why did you do that? Like, trust us? Like, and the priest was like, no, like, don't, the priest was coming from a place like, you can't let demons overpower you, the devil, you have to scare them. And like, you can't show fear. That's what they feed off of. And then
that makes more sense.
Lorraine said, okay, look, just be careful when you drive home tonight. We've had an experience, and then call us when you get home to let us know you made it home. As he's going home, he gets into an accident. He survives, but it's a really bad accident. He could have died. And so an hour later, they receive a call. He said, I was in a really bad accident, a car accident, and I'm fine, though. And they just went, Annabelle did it because he pissed her off. And then another event happened where they had a visitor, two visitors, a boyfriend and a girlfriend visit, and they said, yeah, look, don't mess with the doll. You can look at the doll. We have it in a case. Like this, it was in a case this time. Like look at it, but like don't even talk to it. Like just look at it. And I think they even said don't look at its eyes. I don't even do that. But you can like observe the doll. And just be careful. And they have a whole procedure. And then the guy was messing with the cage. He was knocking on the glass like really aggressively, like taunting the doll. And then they kicked him out. They said, hey, look, like you're not allowed to be in here. Like they got kind of frustrated. They kicked him out. They die. He dies on his way home in an accident, a motorcycle accident. Yeah, she survives. And the thing is the girl. They said, what happened? Like, and he goes, I don't know. All we were doing is we were laughing about what happened with the doll, and then he crashed.
What did he crash into? Like another car or a tree?
And he died. That was the last thing they talked
weird,
about.
Was
the last thing they talked about. This is recorded. Was the doll. That was the last thing, and they said we were laughing about what happened with the doll.
It's just weird.
And then we crashed.
Yeah, it's weird to me to think like unless you're like incredibly intoxicated, it's really hard to crash into a tree. I feel like because unless you're not paying attention to the road. I don't know. It's weird to me. But.
Yeah, but anyway, the Annabelle doll is not like really scary looking like it is in the movies. It's a Raggedy Ann doll. Yeah, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The Raggedy Ann doll's not scary.
Those look
That was an opportunity missed business.
More normal than the Annabelle doll. I feel like in the movie, like the Annabelle doll in the movie, like anyone who came across a doll like that, they would not look at it normally.
It's too unrealistically creepy. Like no one like would buy it to be like
anyone would feel uneasy.
Yeah, because they were like, don't they buy it in the movie? Like, oh, it's like a part of our collection. You would be like, even a doll collector would be like, I'm good, we'll pass on this one. So, like, oh wait, that thing looks.
Throw that in the incinerator.
But they conclude that Annabelle Higgins. I don't know if that was a real girl that died, but
what's her backstory?
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's what a medium said. Her name. Medium made up the name, maybe, but like she said, this is a little 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins is in the doll, but we still call the doll Annabelle. But the Edward were like, nope, that is not a little girl on that doll. It is much more evil.
So when they first received the doll, or when that girl
Donna or the
Donna, when she first received the doll. Did she decide to name it Annabelle? Did she receive
not at all.
Being told that it was named Annabelle?
No. She received it just thinking it was a doll, like a decoration piece.
Okay.
Like just a Raggedy Ann doll, and then she just left it alone. And then she started seeing like the weird stuff, like moving around. And then when they started seeing the notes, the kids' notes, that's when they contacted the medium. They're like, hey, like this stuff weird is happening with the doll. Like she's in our house.
The medium told
and the medium said, like there's not something in your house, there's something in the doll. And it's named Annabelle Higgins.
Oh,
and then so they started calling her Annabelle.
That makes sense.
They were like, oh, hey, Annabelle. Then they would like talk to it and stuff because they were like, okay, there's a little girl in the doll. And they would like make conversation with it. But but then it started revealing its colors. And so Ed and Lorraine, they claim that that's the most powerful thing they've ever caught still to this day. I mean, they both died, actually. Well, Lorraine just died literally in April. She just died at 92 years old. She was old, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Her husband died in like 2006 or something, Ed. But the museum's still there. I've seen interesting video of it. Yeah, they have a card, like a tarot card. I don't want to say tarot card, but they have some sort of card on the glass that says Satan, where the doll is. They like taped it there.
Oh,
I guess it's to freak you out. But there's other things in there, and they say, there's a lot of evil stuff in this room, and they have like locks on the doors, like to make sure nothing like is like forced open. Like it's really weird. They keep everything confined. And they follow rules, and people have apparently died messing with this doll.
Even like visitors and stuff? Or?
Yeah, they still visit. You can visit. I don't know if it's like open to the public.
I'm not going to.
You can visit. I mean, I don't know if it's open to the public, but they've had people visit. I'll say this. So BuzzFeed Unsolved is a very funny series. You should watch it. And I don't know if it's real or fake. I can't claim the validity of this. It seems like it's real. It seems like they don't fake things because most of the time nothing happens. And it's just like a funny show. It's like this two guys. One is like a total skeptic and it's like ghosts don't exist at all. The other one's like a total baby about ghosts. It's funny. Like they intertwined it funny, scary and funny. Very well. Yeah. BuzzFeed Unsolved, very good series. They go to the Annabelle museum and weird stuff happened there when they were talking to the doll. Because like they had 2 flashlights and they were using it to communicate with the doll, and the doll was activating the flashlights per each question. Like I remember the skeptic said, so he goes, can you turn off this light if you want to kill me? And the light turned off instantly.
Oh, geez.
And then he goes, wow, okay. He goes, can you turn off this light if you want to kill? And then he said his friend's name, and the light turned off. And like, it was really weird. And it happened like 4 or 5 times, like in perfect timing. They were asking all these questions. The doll's just sitting in the cage. And so, yeah, like, so that was very interesting. Again, I don't know if that's a fake show. I can't speak for its validity, but it seems like a real show. Seriously, it seems like a real show because all their stuff, like, it's just normal, like, boring stuff. And they just make it funny. Normal. Yeah, and that was, like, one incident. They did it in the same thing with the Sally house. The Sally house that claimed to have a demon, that was when the light turned off, when they were like, do you want to kill us both? And the light turned off. It's a different demon. Yeah, that was, like, the 2 times I saw something really weird happen where it was, like, communicating through the flashlight. And... it was very weird, but yeah, they have all sorts of freaky stuff in the museum that they've collected over the years, and they claim that it's all evil and haunted, and that they want to lock it up from people. And the Annabelle doll is apparently the worst that they've ever come across.
Jeez, yeah,
in their history.
No surprise.
And yeah, we
I
don't
wonder
know
what the second worst is.
There's another doll in there called the Shadow Doll that they named. It looks way scarier. It looks like
does it?
old. Yeah, it looks really scary. But they said
Okay.
there's evil in that one too. It was like it's all freaky looking and stuff. There's like this weird statue in there, and they're like, that one isn't fun. Like they were like, this one gave us trouble. They said like that one attacked Lorraine in the home even after they put it away, and they had to like it was like weird stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they said so. They're a very interesting couple. Some people think they are con artists, rightfully so. I can't speak for that, obviously.
Yeah.
I very well could have been, but it's a really interesting story. Like I know, like I think I want to bring Annabelle up because I think maybe some people get annoyed by just pop culture movie, you know, and like people get like it's like saying like Fortnite, and then people just immediately get annoyed without knowing what it is. And fair enough, but like it is a very weird story, genuinely, and it's still residing in this museum, and
it's still being talked about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. They're making a new one, right? Annabelle Comes Home. Isn't that like the third one?
Are they making a new
yeah.
one? Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean it's huge conversation now, but yeah, it's so creepy. The story is, and yeah, you got to look up the room, the occult museum. It's in their basement. The whole place looks like a horror show.
Yeah.
I mean it's just like. It's just like I would be afraid. Like you walk in, you're like, okay, I can't piss off like 10,000 things in here by existing, and all these things just want to. I mean, if it exists, they all just want to kill you the second they see you.
Yeah,
and you're just walking in.
I wouldn't want to visit something like that.
Oh, I totally would. I would love to.
That just makes me too uneasy. I don't know.
I can handle that stuff pretty well, surprisingly.
Yeah,
it definitely gives me creeps. Like I'm not gonna act like I wouldn't be afraid, but I would love to go. That'd be like so awesome. If I could go there,
I guess,
man.
yeah, I guess I'm pretty open to it too. It's just the idea of like, something could happen to you.
They showed there's a video on YouTube. Most people have seen it. It had several million views, but they had a video on YouTube where I think it was another priest, and he talked about the story about the people dying and stuff, and he goes, I never let people touch the doll. He goes, I'm gonna put gloves on when I pick it up, and he put gloves on and picked up the doll. He goes, I will never let my skin touch this doll. And he's like, I don't even like to pick it up in general. And he like picked it up and showed people, but he had gloves on. Like that's how.
Yeah.
He was like, this is how dangerous this thing is. You do not mess. Yeah, like Lorraine, the one that secured it, said, I never look at Annabelle's eyes. I just ignore her. So I walk in and I'll glance at her, but I will not look her in the eye, give her no attention. And again, it's all because they said there's not a little girl in that doll. It is something far more evil, and the
devil probably. Yeah.
I don't know. They put like the thing. I think they put the Satan card on there.
The
to make
Satan
it,
card, yeah.
But like just to, I think it was just to say, because that's not on anything else in there. It was just to say like, yeah, this is the one you don't mess with. If you're gonna mess with any of these things in here, make sure it's not this one. Yeah. So it's just like, that's why. Yeah, people think it's like a. Demonology and demons are a strange conception because we don't know what they are. They're usually described and depicted as monsters, like the definition of a monster. Like some people have claimed that demons are like 10 feet tall. And literally the definition of a medieval monster where it's got the horns and like the claws and it's like all black and it has an evil smile.
I would say that's usually like probably like Middle Ages.
Yeah, but people say there's some
depiction.
truth to that.
But,
people say that there is an
actual. A lot of
actual.
people describe them as being like all shadowy figures.
Yeah,
just all black.
Yeah. There's an interesting story. I wonder if you've heard it. I know we're gonna wrap up soon, but I want to bring this doesn't have to do with dolls, but it's just sort of the demonized idea with Middle Age history. There's a famous book called the Codex Gigas or whatever.
I've heard
Codex
of it.
Gigas. You've heard of it?
I don't think I've heard of it.
This is a freaky piece of art. So the Codex Gigas is a ginormous Gigas. It's like Gigas Codex. It's a book from like the 15th, 16th century.
I know
The giant book.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know,
yeah. I know exactly
the
what you're
devil
talking about.
book.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, it's
Now I know it,
huge.
yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
The drawings in there are not nice.
Yeah, there's a picture of Satan that someone drew of Satan, and
yeah.
It is an interesting book because it's just very creepy.
Especially for the time period, too.
Yeah. But no, but that was when like the Dante's Inferno, hell was a huge topic in society at that point.
At that time,
yeah, like in the devil, like that in possession and selling your soul to the devil, all began around the same time. So this book though depicts the devil, and that's how even like paranormal investigators still depict demons. Is like basically what that picture is. And you can look at the devil; it's very strange looking in the book and evil. But anyway, just to give a quick story, the Codex Gigas, it is the rumor. There's an urban legend that the person who wrote it at midnight, he was trying to write the book, or a book or something like a Bible. I don't even know. He was going to be sentenced to death, like by torture, where they lock him in a confined space and he had to starve to death. Like this guy,
that's horrible.
He had a night. Yeah. No, they did do that a lot. Where they would trap you in something really small and you would starve to death, and so you'd lose your sanity. Pretty evil. Yeah. But this guy, it was gonna happen to this guy, and he was like trying to write some book like before he died. I don't know where the exact story, but he at midnight he's like, I'm never gonna get this book done. I have like 8 hours to live. And so what happens is apparently he made a deal with the devil that night and said, I will give you my soul if you finish this book for me. And help me finish. And the devil agreed, and they finished this large book in one night. Less than one night, like 8 hours. That's the urban legend. And the thing is scientists are figuring out, and they're pretty sure that this book took 20 years to write and finish the way it is. 20 years.
Jeez.
It's one of the most longest projects ever written on, like a book-wise. They are actually very certain that it took 20 years to make this book, or it would have taken 20 years. But there's an urban legend saying that it was written in one night by one person. So,
wow.
But I bring that up anyway.
That should be its own episode.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's still being studied.
Wow. Okay.
They're figuring things out. Apparently, like there's missing parts of the book. Like apparently, the beginning of Genesis was like in the book, like weird stuff, and that's gone. Like it's weird stuff like that. But yeah, the book of Genesis, like about the creation, like that's just ripped out. It got ripped out, like something weird. Like they're like trying to figure out stuff. But I bring that up only because like the depiction of demons that apparently possess these things. So, yeah, and that was the main difference. Is Ed and Lorraine said, no, a spirit is someone who resides in your house and chills out. Some are good, some are bad. A demon is something that takes possession of an object and then looks to a human host. And that's what Annabelle was supposedly doing, looking for a human host.
Wow, okay.
And, yeah, that's the Annabelle story.
Jeez. And I guess I do want to put a little bit of a disclaimer out here. I know the last few topics we talked about involved, like, demons and things like that. I know a lot of viewers listeners might potentially not like believe in that kind of stuff. Just keep in mind these are only like stories.
No, yeah, and, I don't even think I believe
we're here
in it.
To talk. We're here to talk.
I can't say
This is fascinating,
yeah, of course. I can't say I do believe, and I can't say I can't. I'm just sort of
this is
open,
not we're not intending on this is not like the intention of talking about religion in a biased way.
This is more.
This is simply just for discussion, and it's fascinating.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's that, I suppose. Unless you have another story or.
I don't.
Dolls.
But
I
wish I did.
Very
though.
popular legend.
Such an interesting topic to talk about. But
yeah,
I didn't know the full story of the Annabelle story. I knew it was based on a true story loosely, but I didn't know all those details.
Yeah, no, these details are all real claims. That's what that's why I wanted to do this topic, because these were real claims. It's not like a lot of this was just pulled out of the dirt, and then it's like, because a lot of people can say, "Oh, look, there's a doll. Let's make a story out of it." This all began with weird coincidences and scenarios and situations, and then became something, whether it was real or not. That's what makes these stories interesting, Yeah. So, regardless if the Annabelle story was completely fake, maybe Ed and Lorraine Warren really thought they were telling the truth, and they went to this house and were like, oh my god, there's a demon in the doll, and the people who owned it could have completely made up the story. I don't know. Maybe Ed and Lorraine Warren were complete con artists. I don't know. But regardless, there's all this interesting...
It's a wild story.
It's a wild story, and same thing goes with Robert, and same thing goes with the Island of the Dolls. It's just wild material. So I that's as far as I can say. That's that, and I don't know, and I would love to see the Annabelle doll one day, and definitely go back to Robert's house, and I definitely want to go to the Island of the Dolls one day. It's on my bucket list.
Island of the Dolls I'd be fascinated by for sure.
Yeah.
Robert the Doll I could go to again.
Mhm. So
make sure I do it right this time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think this. How did you feel about doing this? I feel pretty good.
Good.
This
I
is
like.
good.
Yeah.
I figured try something a little new. I know I'm taking a risk with this because I guess I just don't know how well received this is going to be in the long term.
No, yeah, I think
it's something to try.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, like, let us know your thoughts.
Please, yeah.
I think it's
I know
just
you guys
important.
are right now.
It's something
Yeah,
to fill in
but-
the gaps of the editing process of videos. Editing good videos takes a long time.
Yes,
Life
yeah.
does get in the way. And this is just something. It's unique enough where I think it'll keep fans interested. I think it is unique enough, fairly.
Yeah.
So I want to just point that out, I suppose, and I just hope that just no videos are coming still. It's
Of
not
course,
like it's not,
yeah.
this is not like
This
a
is not-
replacement.
This is not a replacement
Yeah.
at all. This is simply, while things may not be, when a schedule is not as perfect as or as ideal as a lot of viewers want. Hopefully, this can be a little substitute during that gap of time where nothing's happening.
Right.
This is just a way to mediate that. And
Of course.
like I said, let us. I know you guys are letting us know your feedback right now, but I guess just even after the stream is over, keep letting us know your feedback. Was this a great idea? Was this terrible?
I don't think it was terrible.
No, yeah, no, just feedback from people in general. Let
Suggest topics.
Yeah, that's a great one. Suggest topics too,
Please.
and we were always open to talking
Give
about
us
new
money.
interesting thing. Okay, you're not obligated to do that, but your support is.
If you don't give
is
us money, I will personally wish harm from Annabelle and Robert on all of your souls.
He said it, not me. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
He
kidding.
said
Okay,
it,
but
not-
still,
but like I
yeah.
said, yeah, if you want to support the channel, you are very more than welcome.
You have a
to.
Patreon, right?
I do have a Patreon.
Okay. What is it? Just Nation Squid?
Yeah.
Nation
yeah.
Squid. Okay.
I do have a Patreon. And like as I said, you are more than welcome, but not obligated to donate to that.
What's
so.
the tier that you have?
There's just one tier right now.
Is it?
But,
what is it?
It's it's simple at the moment. I could make changes to it depending on.
But yeah, what do you offer?
So it's $3 a month, and it's credit and video description,
Ooh,
and
okay.
credit and inside the video for longer.
All right, folks, you
videos,
heard that. So
yeah.
$3 a month on Patreon, you'll be credited in future videos.
Yeah, I think I'll likely add more to that tier. Who knows though?
Over
I still
time,
gotta
yeah, for
figure
sure.
things out. This is a
Right.
new concept to me.
Right. Do you have an email people can like send in stories or questions or anything about anything? At?
I have my website. There's
Okay.
On my website, there's the submit your ideas box. You can go there.
Okay, so www.nationsquid.com and the submit your ideas
Yeah.
portion of the website.
Yeah, and then you can submit
And
any
questions and
topics,
stuff like
ideas.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Perfect. So yeah.
fine.
All right. Perfect.
So we hope you enjoyed, everyone.
Yes.
This is a new thing for all of us, and we hope it continues to get better.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess
everyone.
that's all I have to say. But
All right, yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to Midnight Mystery AM's very first brand new opening episode, and expect a new one next week. And enjoy.
yeah, all right. Signing out. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
What is unforgettable beauty? It's part confidence, style, and of course, beautiful skin.
Revlon's age-defying all-day lifting foundation leaves skin smoother while reducing lines by 30%.
Be yourself. Be unforgettable.
Soulmates, buddies, your better half. You just aren't you without them. Like coffee's not coffee without Coffee Mate. So smooth, so velvety, so much more than just coffee. Coffee made from Nestle. Coffee's perfect mate.
Looking for a snack that's low in fat but still high in taste?
Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop is 94% fat-free, 100% delicious. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers today and start popping smart.
Asthma was only going so far and always wanting to go further. Today, there is Advair. Ain't no mountain high enough. Advair is clinically proven to increase symptom-free days because Advair is the first and only product to effectively treat the two main components of asthma, airway constriction and inflammation. No other single product does that. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. People switching from an oral steroid like prednisone to Advair, which contains an inhaled steroid, need to be especially careful. While adjusting to the switch, your body may not be as able